Bro,
We
at this
already
point,
live. We
I
already
was
live.
gonna say at this point, is there anything else to talk about? Welcome everybody to the Listen Up podcast. It's your boy Brandon.
Sam.
Man, we are back with another L. we back with another L. 0-3 for the first time since was 1976. We keep figuring out ways to break all the records that don't really need to be broken, but we keep finding ways to break them all. So before we get started, man, join us, rate, review, subscribe, 5-star likes. If you have not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. If you have not told somebody to hit the subscribe button, tell them to hit the subscribe button, and then send it to somebody else to tell them to hit the subscribe button. Rate 5 stars on Apple and all the other podcast places that you already know where we at, man. We everywhere. Apple, Spotify. So wherever you can rate it. And as always, we appreciate you listening. So some of y'all on the listen up. What it's called the live instant reaction show last night. So y'all heard a lot of my thoughts, man. But y'all ain't really get a lot of Sam. So honestly, I'm gonna get a flow to you, man. Give me some of your thoughts, man, on really what you thought about the game overall.
Man, this program was a dumpster fire. And I'm curious, like, what was y'all consensus on the live show last night? What did y'all come up with? Like, did y'all? I mean, other than firing all the coaches, like, what else did y'all come up with?
That was it. I mean, here's the thing. This team is poorly coached. This is the second week in a row, and maybe we can argue the third, where I felt like the coaches let down the players. Where I felt like the coaches decided that
You feel like the game
we.
plan was bad?
Please explain to me why you start Mackenzie Milton, then Jay Corbin fumbles, and now you go back to Jordan Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Then for some reason later on in the game, you throw in a Cole, Mackenzie Milton back in the game for him to throw an interception. You run a power with Mackenzie Milton. What was it, 13 carries total, I believe, for Ward and Corbin?
Yeah. It seemed like Mackenzie Milton body language was kind of fucked up yesterday too.
Y'all putting this dude in terrible positions. Again, the coaching staff.
It seemed like I think he audible. It seemed like he audibled out of that play, right, to get into the other play. And I think that I don't think he really trusts the coaches either, if we're being honest.
How could you trust the coaches? They don't seem to know what they're doing.
Right.
Everybody understands the game plan should be to run the football. Everybody should know this. Run Ward, run Corbin.
Right.
And if you got some time, throw a little screen to Toa Philly. That's the game plan.
Right.
That's every week going in. That's what we working on this week. Running.
Yeah.
Like I heard somebody break down the game. It was like they were daring you to run the football. They were basically saying run the football. And for some reason, again, they didn't do the simple thing that the other coach was basically assuming that they would do. Like
Yeah, I mean,
6 turnovers.
It seems like they need to run Ward more. I agree with Control. No, they do need to run Ward more, but it seems like to me they don't. It seems like they don't want to lean into the running game enough to me. I think they should be running the ball like 60% over the time instead of trying to do the 50-50 split they've been doing. They need. What I don't understand is why didn't they build off the offense they had last year, going into this year? Why didn't they just build off of what they was doing last year and make it better? You know what I'm saying? Until you actually get the quarterback you want, so you can do what you want to do. I think that's the part. And then another thing they got is, I put on Twitter today about the play calling. Why is Mike Norvell not calling plays?
That's what I don't understand either. That again,
like was he forced not to call? Was he told he shouldn't be calling plays like they did Willie? Like is the administration telling him not to call plays? Like why is he not calling plays? Because I mean, if he was a play caller at Memphis and he had success being a play caller at Memphis, he should be calling plays here.
I didn't know he wasn't calling plays until yesterday, where somebody said it's been Dillingham this whole time. Okay, but that still falls on Mike because unless they telling me they giving him the Bobby Bowden the headset, You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just got music playing in the headphones. It ain't really like, you know what I mean? Like it ain't really listening to the game.
Yeah.
Then I don't understand. Mike is looking at this and he is saying, I think I made this example last night. I said when Ole Miss coach, you know I'm bad with names.
Old Miss, somebody Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin was at Alabama. When Lane Kiffin was at Alabama, and he was basically auditioning to figure out who he was and who he needed to be.
Right.
Where was Nick Saban at? And that man hip.
Yeah.
Like if you took a step to the left, I'm taking a step to the left.
Right.
In other words, so and then what happened on several games? Run the damn football. You could see, you could see Nick Saban mouth, "Hey man, run the football."
Yeah.
So even if you tell me Kenny Dillingham has been calling the plays, his headset don't work. Hey man, come down from the booth for a second. Let me holler at you.
Yeah.
Run the ball, man. You don't call another pass play until I give you authority to call another pass play.
But I mean, your game planning goes. That's you game plan throughout the week. So you go into
Are they though?
a game. You know, I guess my point is you go into a game with a plan. So you can't just like up and change that plan as the flow of the game goes on because you've game planned. That's what you took the whole week for. That's what you took 2 weeks for. You know, because
are they actually? Okay,
we
again,
finna. Okay, let's do this.
Tell me
let's
what the
assume,
game plan
but
is.
let's assume they're competent, right? Let's just assume they're competent. All right, we gonna assume they're competent. All right. So you put a game plan together. That's 5 days, 7 days of game planning, 6 days of game planning, basically, right? So then you come up with the game plan on what? Monday or Tuesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday, you come up with what you want to do off of that game plan if they try to stop this other stuff, right? So what's going on with the game plan? I guess that's my problem is because you can't go into the game and say, well, we're going to do this and then we're going to do that. And then you got Milton, then you got Jordan Travis. I just think they're trying to do too much. They're trying to fool people, but they're not mastering anything. You know what I'm saying?
Find an identity and stick with it.
Right. Like, get good at something. They're not good at anything.
Find an identity and stick with it.
And my whole thing is, how did you get worse on offense this year than what you was last year?
Because Mike Norvell's not calling the plays. I mean, at the end of the day, I think I can say that Mike Norvell is a better play caller than Kenny Dillingham. Now, not much better because, again, Mike was calling those plays in those second halves that didn't get no yards.
Right.
But at least we that scripted drive was always good, and we at least knew what their identity was.
Right.
We knew that, hey, this is what we were supposed to do.
Right.
We knew this is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to run the ball, maybe throw some play action off of it, throw some bubble screens. You know what I mean? Just short, quick. You know what I mean? Get down the field, mistake-free football. Like that was their identity last year. That's what we knew. That's what they wanted to be.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like even and again, Control No just say predictability in play calling. We saw it. You know what I mean? It was so like even when you do decide you're gonna run the ball, everybody know what play coming.
Yeah.
Everybody know what's happening. It's not like we got. It's so much, and I'm players were bad. They definitely need an influx of talent and all that good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still not putting these guys in the position to be successful.
Your talent problem was supposed to be on the back end of the schedule, not on the front end of the schedule, right?
Correct. It shouldn't have reared his head against Jacksonville State.
Right. Wake Forest.
Right.
So, I mean, granted, I did pick them to lose against Wake Forest because I thought Wake Forest would be better, but Wake Forest didn't even play great. And I think that's my biggest problem. Like, these teams ain't really playing great. It ain't like usually you see these games where you be like, oh, here go NC State playing above their head. Here go Bailey Hartman having a game of a lifetime. Here go these guys, this wide receiver I never heard of catching 8 balls for 200 yards. These teams ain't really
beating us with a C and D games. We getting beat with. I mean, that was Wake Forest C and D game. Wake Forest did everything they could to let y'all win that game.
Yeah, they wanted us to win that game.
They wanted us to win it. Like they kept saying, "Man, listen, we don't want this. We don't want this. We need y'all to be great again. We're gonna give it away as much as possible."
Right. Yeah, I mean, dude, that was bad right there. I mean, that's about as bad as I've seen. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to get into this thing where we know they need to make changes on the staff, right? We get that part, but
I don't even feel like talking about that part.
But how do you flip the recruiting and get the recruiting on like the recruiting part is really the biggest part because firing coaches usually don't tend to be a good thing for recruiting. That's usually a bad thing when it comes to recruiting, firing coaches,
Well,
right?
and here's the problem, right? If for whatever reason Mike has told them we was gonna suck this year, let's say they win 1 game, 2 games, which is again, that's max. If they win more than that, then great, I'll take it.
Right.
But if they're looking at 1 to 2 wins max this season,
Right.
they're probably gonna lose some players, a couple, but probably not, right? Let's say Mike talks to the guys and he basically says, "Listen, I told you it was gonna be bad. You know, we expected this. I'm sorry it's gotten out of hand, but y'all are the reason why we're gonna be good in the next couple of years. So stick with us, right?"
Right.
You add a legit offensive tackle who starts day one, Travis Hunter who starts day one, and the quarterback who starts day one in
Right.
AJ Duffy, and then you can say, all right, next year y'all can beat Wake, and y'all can beat I don't even know who you beating,
Yeah.
but let's say you beat them.
Right.
If you, that's wild. That's a wild.
Yeah, that's the funniest
but let's say somehow you beat, you know what I mean? You beat these guys. In other words, you basically got to say we ride. Like in other words, you got to Robert Norvell, because if you fire him, you're gonna lose your class. Now if the class goes before then I think it don't matter.
Well, I don't think you fire Norvell regardless, right? I don't think you fire Norvell regardless. I just think
I don't see how it's possible to keep if the class goes and he has won 2 games. What are you gonna do next year? And this is from I was talking about, I think, from an economical standpoint. Florida State being bad affects a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just Florida State football and the fans. The economy of Tallahassee is affected by Florida State being bad. So when you look at it, you say, how in the world? You know what I mean? How in the world do you even? How can you not fire him if he only wins 2 games?
I just think
unless you tell me you got the class, unless the class is together.
You can't get in a cycle of doing that. Like you can't get into that type of cycle. I think the biggest problem he's going to have to do is he's going to make some like overhaul, big changes on the staff. But I don't even know if I'm an assistant coach. Man, you're going to have to pay me a lot of money to come coach at Florida State. Because, I mean, I know my head coach may not be here after a year. Like, I might be on a 1-year rental. You know what I'm saying? Because I think next year he is coaching for his job, right? I don't technically think he's coaching for his job this year. I don't think you can pull the plug that fast. Because, I mean,
I don't think you can, dude.
I don't think you can.
I'm just not sure how you can sell. I'm not sure how you can sell 2 wins to boosters and to people who make a lot of decisions.
Well, I think you sell it by hiring an AD. I think you sell it by
doing the stuff they supposed to have been done before they hired this shitty coach.
Yeah, yeah, doing all that stuff we said they should have did before they got rid of the other coach. I mean, and I just think the admin has really kind of failed everybody, man. Because you really shouldn't have.
You should not have fired Willer. Period. You can say what you want to say. I've heard a lot of people talk about the behind the scenes and so on and so forth. Man, you had people standing around and they were getting the whole. Okay, so matter of fact, I'm gonna get on it. So,
well, I don't want to get into the Willie Taggart conversation.
No, I just want to talk about the behind the scenes and why. Basically, the thing that the reason why they've said is Willie ain't the same as Mike and Mike ain't the same as Willie is because of the behind the scenes, right? That's been the argument that has been said. I don't know the behind the scenes, but the stories that I've heard was apparently Willie didn't, teams wouldn't have the hotel booked for whatever, you know what I mean, if they were going on the away game, or they were going to, have something, or there was recruits, they were having recruit weekends, and nobody would be there to pick up the recruit to take him to wherever, take him back to his house or whatever, right? And now those problems, happen with Mike. My question is really, how much of that is on Willie Taggart? Like, they ain't people who is there not a coordinator who handles, recruiter? You know what I mean? Was there not a recruiting coordinator whose job that was?
Right.
And maybe I guess it's his fault for not being the micromanager to double check behind the recruiting coordinator. I didn't know Mike's or Willie's job, or Mike's job, or Jimbo's job is to book what we staying at, is to book the Best Western in Philadelphia.
Right.
Like I didn't know that was his job.
Right.
So when we look at it and we say the blame is on Willie, and the blame is on Mike, I'm saying they're the same coach because the same problems that we've seen on the field, dumb penalties. Again, that Jaron Jones penalty, you were off the field. That led to a point. That led to a touchdown.
Well, you playing Wake
That
Forest though, so because people talk about the penalties. Well, this is what the ACC referees do. We have these games where we be like, "What the hell is going on in these games?" Like this is what the ACC referees do. You see dumb penalties, guys trying to hold up, guys tackling somebody that's close to the out of bounds line to get flags. This is a regular thing that happened with Florida State. So, but I mean, and I think another problem that we keep coming back to with this whole, I don't think it's a Willie and Mike conversation, dude. I just think it's a deeper conversation because you had three coaches now, you had a lot of roster turnover, and it's still a shitty product, right? So I mean, you can't just sit here and say,
the same
"Oh,
problems that
it's
was
the
happening
coach,
2
it's the
years
coach,
ago.
it's the coach." You got to look a little deeper, right? It's a lot of rot. They got a lot of rot in the program, man.
Yeah, but I mean, if the how do you fix it though? The on field guys, I mean, the behind the scenes guys are the behind the scenes guys until we get somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I think the behind the scenes is better. I think they hired
Okay.
Alfred, and I think they
Hmm.
hired the other guy, Bruce Warwick. So I think those things say that they're gonna get the behind the scenes better, and things like that. But I just think you need to hire AD because right now there's no
Yeah, but what
real.
does that have to do with you having to call unnecessary timeouts? What does that
No,
have to
no, no,
do
no, no,
with
no, no,
what
no.
does
You
that have to do with you switching quarterbacks back and forth like with no rhyme or reason,
oh no,
no rationale
he's
behind it or whatever? Like that's what I'm saying. I don't care nothing about I
yeah.
get what you're saying. The behind the scenes has been trash and it is working its way back. We've talked about that. I'm talking about what we saw yesterday, what we saw
Mhm.
the week before yesterday, and what we saw last season. We saw the same, and shoot, what we saw the year before that with Willie. The same things, procedural penalties, dumb penalty, roughing the punter when you're going to get off the field. Why you sending guys? This is the first drive. We don't need to block no punt right now. Like, you know what I mean? Just silly stuff that can be directly linked to
Where
the
they
fact that
where they was
somebody
sending where they was
is
sending guys for the punt block thing because they're trying to create some type of momentum. They're trying to create a play.
stop trying, man. Just go play football. It's the first drive of the game, man. What you talking about? You know what I mean? It's That's what I mean, right? You have no strategy whatsoever. You have no game plan whatsoever. You just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing if it stick, and that's the problem I'm having. We can absolutely talk about the behind the scenes. Yep, it's a problem. I agree with you. You shouldn't fire Mike Norvell. I'm also not sure it makes any sense to have dead coach Walken also in your program because I don't think that really instills a lot. Who knows? I'm not the person, but
Right.
you know what I mean? But what I can tell you is that when I look at this team and I look at what they're doing, I say the players are not very good and the coaches are not doing them any favors.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the coaches. Well, I think that's the biggest indictment, right? Because I think the idea was if you hire the people to fix the behind the scenes, Alfred Warwick, and you get good coaches in here that maybe you can kind of flip some of this a little quicker. Well, I mean, they're getting out coached, man. And they don't do a good job with personnel. The personnel looks terrible. I mean,
Every week,
you
no
got
matter who the
Ward.
coach is.
I think Ward didn't get enough touches. Ward's not getting enough touches. What's my other guy name? Corbin's not getting enough touches. Well, he did fumble the football, so I can understand why you might have taken him out the game after he fumbled the football.
Man,
But
that's his first fumble, man. Dalvin Cook fumbled the football.
several times.
I don't recall Jimbo Fisher saying, "Well, Dalvin, you ain't playing no more for me. You out here fumbling my football." Meanwhile, you got Mackenzie Milton keep trotting out that while throwing picks.
Yeah.
So it can't be he fumbled the football.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like there is no consistency. I heard somebody talked about accountability because that was one of the biggest things that people brought up was, man, they don't hold players accountable. Um, well, we saw some of that same stuff. You know what I mean? Players committing dumb penalties, players getting involved in stupid stuff or making stupid mistakes, and then put right back on the field without anybody talking to them about it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think they're lost as a staff. I think this coaching staff is lost. I don't think they know what they have. I don't think they know how to utilize it properly,
Yeah.
and you don't have enough talent to overcome it. You know what I'm saying? Like again, if this was a really talented team, then you can kind of overcome some of those. Like in other words, you beat Jacksonville State last week just because you have enough talent to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
But what you don't have is enough talent for the coaches to be playing poorly. I mean, the coaches to be coaching poorly, and the players to also not have talent. See, that's the problem. We thought, or at least a lot of people thought. Well, if Mike puts these guys in the right position, they can win some football games. If
Right.
Mike coaches these boys up and Adam Fuller coaches these boys up, then yeah, we don't necessarily have that talent, but we should still be able to beat Wakes, and we should be able to beat Louisville, who's not very good, but
Right.
or now better. You should be able to be in games with North Carolina State. You should be able to. But again, we called for Wake to blow us out last year. Wake turned around the season later and blew us out.
Right. And I think, yeah, and you know, really when you look at it, it's like it's kind of sad because I don't really see an ending in sight for this losing. Like,
You talking about this season?
This season or next season? Like next season gonna be.
I think
kinda
next
rough.
season, and that's why I disagree. I think
mean,
next season can be better if you keep the class. You keep the class. You're talking about 5 or 6 sure starters who do make a big difference. You know what I mean? You put it like this: you beat Jacksonville State or whoever the Jacksonville State is the next season. I don't know who on the schedule, but you beat who?
The Queens team.
Duquesne.
Yeah,
Duquesne.
that's what they call it,
Alright,
Duquesne.
so-
I thought the Queens. I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, Duquesne. So I mean, you beat Duquesne. You know, you beat probably some of the other teams. All them people be on left from Wake Forest. You know, they all seniors. So all them people be gone. So probably you beat Wake. You know what I mean? Because now you at least put Travis Hunter ain't letting dudes run by him. You know. Or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't care what position you put him in. You know what I mean? Like, dude from Jacksonville State ain't gonna run by him just because I'm better than he is.
Right.
And so those are the difference. Those are the difference that I think you make. Not only do you have dudes not running by him on defense, he probably also running by dudes on offense. So in my opinion, I think an influx of talent is a big thing. It's just a matter, but they do have to make some coaching changes. In other words, I don't think you can say, all right, we're going to line up, bring the band back together and do it all over again. Because even with that influx of talent, you're going to still lose games. They may be a little closer. They may be a little tighter, but you're still going to lose games because the staff is not putting these guys in the best position.
Yeah, and I don't think the defense. Well, the scheme is just bad. I think the guys are actually playing hard. I think on defense they play hard. I think on offense they're just not talented at offensive line, especially when you get down 2 or 3 starters.
Yep.
But for the most part, I mean, I do feel like the quarterback position. You're asking Travis to do the same thing you're asking Milton to do. Then you're asking Milton to do what Travis do. I don't know what that's about. Like it's just weird watching it. Like they try to run a couple run plays with Milton, and I'm like, that's not even his game. But then with Travis, you make him drop back and do 3-step drop backs and scan the field, and that's not his game. So
you understand? I mean, I think it's simple though. It's simply put, they are trying to do what they think. Like they're out coaching themselves almost. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think they rat trapping. I think they rat trapping a little bit. I think the staff is rat trapping. I think the quarterback, and I think the reason why Milton's body language is so bad is because I think Milton know that they're kind of fumbling it. Like he know the staff don't know what they're doing. I mean, because he's been around football a long time, right? He's been around
competent coaches
for a long time,
right?
You know?
So in other words, you're not surprising the defense when you ask, you know what I mean? When you ask Milton to run the ball, they're gonna be like, "Oh, snap, he running the ball. We don't know what to do." You're not surprised, and you're not surprising the defense when you ask Jordan Travis to drop back and throw the ball 50 times a game. I think they believe they're somehow surprising the defense.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna show them. We're gonna have Milton run, and we're gonna have Jordan pass. They'll never see that coming. The problem is that's not playing to your player's strengths. You know what I mean? That doesn't play to Milton's strength, and that doesn't play to Jordan Travis's strength.
And you know,
let Jordan Travis run, and also Jordan Travis don't look healthy to me either. But
no, he don't look healthy. And another problem I think they got, people keep talking about bringing in portal dudes and all the other stuff. Man, when has Florida State really hit in the portal? I mean, we hit Jermaine Johnson. We hit him, but that's about it, man. I mean, all these other players that people keep talking about, it's like we're not even scraping from the top of the barrel of the portal. I mean, even Michigan State got the running back from Wake Forest and did a great job. But it just don't seem like you need to hire a coach with some real cachet. Like, as a defensive coordinator, you probably need to go hire somebody like a Will Muschamp, somebody that can really go on the trail, somebody that's recruited top-level kids that he can go into the portal and talk to a top-level kid.
Calls a good defense.
Well, I'm just saying somebody you need cachet on your staff. Because Mike, and I was thinking about this when somebody was talking to me about this. This is about Mike Norvell and Willie Taggart and stuff like that. Well, Mike Norvell, even with him coming to Florida State, he didn't recruit the top 200 kids, right? So even with the portal, he don't have a relationship with those guys. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the cachet. So it kind of makes it kind of hard for him to double back and get talented guys out the portal that he knows. Because you got to think about it, even with Manny Diaz when he went to Miami, and he's done a good job in the portal. Well, Manny Diaz was at Texas, he's at Mississippi State, he's at Miami. He had cachet. He knew some guys in that portal, so he could be able to grab them because he knew them. He had relationships with them. Our head coach don't really have relationships like that, and we're hiring people that have relationships. But at the end of the day, if the head coach is a fumbling idiot, they don't really trust it, so they don't really come. So we're not getting the top offensive lineman out the portal. We're not getting the top wide receivers out the portal. Like, you know, we took a lot of flack. I took a lot of flack for what I said about Parchman. I mean, but what is he doing? What is he doing?
Did he play yesterday?
I don't know.
I don't think he played yesterday.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know.
in a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
I don't remember him playing. If so, that'll tell you about how good he played because I don't remember him being in the game. You're right. Kier Thomas. Kier Thomas is Kier Thomas is playing good. I agree with that.
Yeah, and I want to make this other point too, like talking about Travis, and that's why I didn't understand why Mike was forcing Milton into the games because you know Travis get hurt. So why are you forcing Milton in the game? Just wait for Travis to get hurt. There's no reason to be in a rush to put him in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, when we talk about building through the portal, right? Not only do you need to have, like you said, the relationships and stuff. The other thing you really need to have is a winning team. Somebody, you know what I mean? Like players want to come in and like immediately play for starting spots, but also, you know, be a part of a winning program.
Right.
You're not going to be able to sell to offensive lineman X, defensive end X, or whatever
Right.
it is that, hey, you're going to come in and help Florida State be back. Because
Right.
there's nothing that we've shown that says Florida State is on their way back.
Yeah.
You're trending the opposite way. So if you tell me you can get some transfer guys, you might get some transfer guys who like, listen, you're my best option. I ain't got no other choice.
Right.
But you're not getting no elite wide receivers. You need elite wide receivers.
Yeah.
You're not getting elite running backs. You're not getting elite offensive linemen, and you're probably not gonna get very many elite linebackers or DBs either.
Right.
So what you're looking at is other guys very similar to the guys you got on your roster. They might win the job out, they might not.
Right.
But even if so, they still not gonna make that big of a difference. They're not making that big of an impact.
Yeah.
You were lucky to get, you know, Kier Thomas and Jermaine Johnson. Like both of those things are great.
Mm-hmm.
But
You should have
that was
paired
when
him
you were trending differently then too.
But you had to pair him with a linebacker. You need to pair those guys with a linebacker. And then another problem I think is all this kind of go back to last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the staff was wasting time saying, "Oh, it's a COVID year and we need a spring or we need a summer."
I still have heard a whole lot of that. People are still saying that, and that's what they said. Why Mike ain't gonna be, you know, nothing's gonna happen to Mike because this is
but let me make
year
this.
one.
Let me make this point though. Mel Tucker didn't waste his COVID year with COVID. Sam Pittman didn't waste his year talking about COVID, right? I think Michigan State. If you listen to the Cover 3 podcast with Bud Elliott, he made a great point when he was like, Michigan State was playing terrible, right? And they only won 2 games last year. But towards the end of the year, they switched their offense around. They changed some things around, and they was playing different on offense. Well, he didn't waste his time talking about, well, it's a COVID year, just give me a full spring, give me a full summer. So Sam Pittman didn't do that. Lane Kiffin didn't do that. And Lane Kiffin was terrible on defense last year. But those teams came back this year with a COVID year. They didn't waste their time. I mean, they took the opportunities of what they had, evaluated their roster, made improvements on that roster, and got better throughout last year. And then this year, now they're all playing better. Now, I'm not saying Michigan State some juggernaut. They probably won't be 4th in the Big Ten. They'll probably be 5th or 6th. But they look like they're on the right trajectory.
They just beat the hell out of Miami.
Yeah, Arkansas look like they're on the right trajectory to me. You know, Ole Miss look like they might actually be a top 10 team. Like, no jokes.
No.
I mean, no joke. Like, they look like they might be a legit top 10, top 15 team. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, you can't ever say, if you're getting paid, it's not wasted. It's not wasted if you're getting paid because you're getting paid, you know?
That's the problem I'm having. It's a lot of excuse making going on. We saw it all last year. And me and Sam kept calling it. It sounded like excuses to me. Sound like excuses to me, guys. I don't know about you. Sound like excuses. I don't understand why these other guys not. And now, this year, it's the same. Man, this technically is really his first year. Last year didn't count. It was COVID year. They didn't have no spring or whatever. And now we flash back to last year again. Man, he can't be fired. He still need more time. And all I'm saying is, what's the word? Proof of concept.
Yeah.
Show me the proof of show me something. Give me something to hang my hat on. You know what I'm saying? Give me something that I can say, okay, I can see what you're trying to do. I can see where you're taking us. You don't got the players to get us where you need to be, but I can see where you're taking us.
Right.
What has anybody seen that says I can see where you're taking us? Yeah. I'm legit asking. I don't know. There's nothing that I can hang my hat on and say, Mike Norvell, if he just gets more time, he'll be better.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Fuller just needs more time and he'll be better. Kenny Dillingham just needs more time and he'll be better. Nothing that I've seen in these 2 seasons has given me any hope whatsoever that whatever you're trying to sell, I can kind of see it. Like, I ain't even talking about a full, you know what I mean? Just something to hang my hat on and say,
I don't think Jamie's been, somebody said Jamie, I don't think Jamie's been playing that well. That's the same guy that was loafing. He's been constantly getting burnt. And
Jamie who?
Jamie Robinson.
What about Jamie Robinson?
He's a good player. I don't think he's that
Who said
good.
that? Nobody said that.
No Control said that.
No,
Control, no.
No, he didn't.
All right.
That was a mistype.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, man, I don't know, man. So, but I'm more interested in what Norvell does going forward. I think he does need to take over play calling.
Has to.
I think he needs to
at least give me that script to drive again.
Yeah, and I also I think if Milton is gonna, and I can't really blame Milton for having an attitude, but if he's gonna be like that, you probably need to go ahead and move Chuba to the second quarterback. And you probably need to start, if you think Chuba
I'll be playing Chuba actually going forward, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think you know what you got in Travis. Travis ain't great. He can't throw the football, and if you tell me his wheels are gone because he either partly injured, slightly injured, or he just lost something from last year, or he's scared, or whatever it is, then you get nothing. Like, you're not getting anything great from Jordan Travis. You know what I mean? What made him special was the fact that at any moment in time, if he broke that line, he could take it to the house. That wiggle is gone. That second gear is gone. Like, he don't have it. So if you telling me that Mackenzie Milton has attitudes, also a bit shook, and also, you know what I mean, and can't run, go ahead, hey Milton, we appreciate you, buddy, but you probably pack it up and
I would never understand
your coaching career.
The one thing I can't understand is why was he rotating these quarterbacks? That's the one thing I just would never understand. Like,
he don't know what he's doing.
And it's not like he was doing it situationally, right? In certain situations, I'm gonna do this. It was like, hey, you get a drive. Now you sit for this half. Now you play for this half. And it's like, if I could be a fly on the wall, or if I was actually, be honest with you, if I was actually like on the beat, I would ask him that question. Why are you doing that?
Maybe that's why Eric get kicked out.
Because I'm really curious on why he's doing that. Because if we can see that you're better built to run the football, then you
why
can
don't
see
he
that
see
too.
that?
You can see
no,
that too.
but clearly he can't. Clearly he can't. Clearly he can't see that. We've seen 3 games now where we haven't seen him see that. He don't. You know what I mean? Like, he would not stick with the run. Again, if it ain't Mike, if you're not calling it, you allowing it. Yeah. So if you telling me Mike is saying is frustrated as all get out, why won't we run the ball more? Then my question is, why does your headset not work?
Yeah, and I wouldn't go. To be honest with y'all, I wouldn't go full youth movement in games. Because I think, well,
this year's over with, man.
Well, yeah, but this is my point though. You don't want to, like those young defensive ends. You don't want to break them, right? So now,
I think can you break a defensive end?
Yeah, man. Like, their shoulders can get tore up in games. They not ready for them grown men. You know what I'm saying?
Some of them are, but I get what you're saying.
But I wouldn't do that. But what I would do is I would go full youth movement in practice. I would go, Chuba, you gonna get a lot of snaps in practice.
I play Chuba, man. Not even just because Chuba's better. I play Chuba just because I know we got these other dudes.
Right, but I'm saying my thing would be my youth movement would be in practice more so in games. My youth movement would be a lot more in practice. Like, I would be repping a lot of my young guys in practice. I'll be repping a lot of my young guys in the secondary in practice. They'll be getting more reps in practice than what everybody else would be getting. And then in the games, I'll put the older guys out there. They can go play, go Go look like idiots if you want to. And probably about about the last 3 games of the season, I think that's when I would be playing more of my young guys. Because I think I wouldn't want to break my young guys too early. Because I do think you got some talented defensive ends, but you can't play them guys right now. I mean, you can't put them guys physically.
I don't think
in the
you can
game.
play all of those guys. Again, you're right. They're gonna get run over. They can't get off a block, so on and so forth. Right.
But you don't want
I
to get
that.
injured and stuff.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
understand that. I agree with that for some of the players, but there are some players who can, I think, start rotating in certain situations.
But even in my wide
these games
receiver,
finna get out of hand for us.
my
In
wide
that
receiver
blowout,
group,
man,
yeah,
throw them boys in there.
yeah, but in the blowouts, yeah, you can put them in there. But I'm saying even in the wide receiver group with Burrell, I think McClain is wide receiver 1, so you keep playing McClain the way you playing him. I think Burrell, you start kind of moving him to where you think he's going to be at, which I think he's going to be a move tight end. I've been saying that he's been kind of playing that move tight end position. So you keep going with him at that move tight end position. I would like to see. Defensively, I probably like to see a little bit more. I don't know, man. They don't have anybody on defense though, other than the secondary. Knowles,
Let them do.
Cooper.
Keep rolling out what you're doing on defense.
Yeah, just keep.
Here's the
rolling that
thing.
out there.
Listen, the defense is not as bad as what they're being. They're not as bad as the positions they're being put in.
Right.
If that makes sense, right? Like, they actually do have. Again, I still think the front four is good. Right. I still think your linebackers are who your linebackers are. They're not very good, but they usually come downhill. They might come downhill and miss the tackle, but they still coming downhill. Right. Because that's what bad linebackers do. And your DBs gonna probably get burnt. But my thing is, if you know your DBs are gonna get burnt, stop having them line up one-on-one with wide receivers.
Yeah.
If you know your linebackers, gonna miss some holes or whatever it is, and you probably should have them, not blitz too much. I mean, I know it's run down, but let them, maybe you do some. Let's stop it for a 2-yard gain as opposed to trying to stop it behind the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? That's what I mean when I talk about putting players in better positions on defense. I don't think they're as bad as the position they've been put in. I agree with you, Travis, man. The crazy thing is that Memphis, Norvell ran the ball a lot. He had over 2 1,000-yard rushes.
Well, we went into
I believe
season,
that's what we went into the season.
We went into the season saying, well, we feel like he gonna move the football because he moved the football last year and he moved it at Memphis. I gave him the benefit of the doubt for that. Remember I said that? I was like, we can bake it in.
We can run the ball.
Yeah, we can run the ball. And it's the crazy thing about it is they have success running the football when they run it. That's the crazy thing.
That's what's funny about it. Trey Ward had a great series, and I was like, okay, good.
And
now they see it. They see it now because now they know Ward is, Ward. Okay, all right, we got something with Ward. Where Ward went? Ward got hurt. Ward got hurt in that drive. Where Ward at? You didn't see Ward the rest of the game. I'm like, huh? What? Who made that? That's what I don't know. Those are the questions I need to ask. Who made that decision for us not to see Ward?
Right.
If you telling me you riding with the hot hand, because that's what most coaches say, we're gonna ride with the hot hand. Why wouldn't you see Ward again?
Yeah.
Ward was looking like Devontae Freeman out there.
Yeah.
You don't never see him again. I don't understand. Same thing happened last week. Corbin rolling off runs. Told Philly get on out there and get us some short yardage. It doesn't make any sense. So when I listen to, I ain't gonna even call him name. I almost call his name. When I listen to people on the timeline tell me that it ain't on Mike, it's on the players. The players got to play better. No, the players are who they are.
Yeah.
The players are bad. We told you that. We told you this is one of the most least talented rosters that Florida State had ever had. We talked about it.
Right.
But just being a least talented roster at Florida State is better than anything that Wake Forest recruits.
Yeah. I mean,
period. That's not even like that's not a hyperbole or nothing. Just because Florida State has one of the least talented rosters we have, that means you gonna get blown out by the really, really good teams. That doesn't mean you should be losing to Wake. That doesn't mean you should be losing to Louisville. You should be losing to Syracuse. You should be losing to NC State. You should be losing to, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be losing to those teams.
Well, I thought we would be in a lot of shootouts. I thought we would lose, but I thought we'd be in shootouts. Like, if the teams go 35, we'll be at 30. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I baked into it. But I
can't see him. I can't see him getting to 30 anytime this season.
I gotta be honest with you though, dude. This is like this is a doomsday scenario, and I didn't even really see that coming. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see this type of doomsday scenario coming like this. I thought they would win 6 games or 5 games, and it'd be high scoring, like, and I would still want Fuller fired. But the idea that the offense just looks so clunky, man, and I don't know why he's not calling plays. If the FSU administration told him to stop calling plays the way they did Willie, the way they complained about Jimbo, well, that's a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So
And that's sad. Yeah,
and
then
that's
that's
sad,
sad.
'cause they shouldn't.
Stop meddling in your let your coaches coach, and you just do what you gotta do. Leave that alone.
So, I mean, we'll probably do a lot more stuff on the show, probably something different. I mean, because we can't keep.
Yeah.
I can't keep calling for coaches to get fired a week, and so we'll probably. I know I'm gonna line some other guests up for the show. People that be a little bit more optimistic than me.
But yeah, we're gonna find some people who can lie we'll find some people who lie to y'all, man.
Maybe that. No, I ain't gonna say a lot. Just some people that are
Nah, we're gonna
convinced
find
me
people
that
gonna lie
they
to
get better. But the whole beat is
I heard
just
a lot of
hilarious.
lie. I heard a lot of lying. I ain't gonna lie to you. I told him last night on the live show. I normally don't go and listen to other people, to the other podcasts. You know what I mean? Just because, and you talked about it too. You know, me and you had the conversation. Just because you don't want to kind of recycle stuff that people has already heard. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There's a lot of lying. There's a lot of lying. That's what I tell you.
Yep.
It's a whole lot of lying.
Yep.
And spin, and I'm be honest with you, I'm floored by it. I expected everybody to come out here and be on the same page. I thought this was gonna be the first time our podcast was gonna be right in line with all the other podcasts, arm in arm, walking into the Moore Center, grabbing Fuller and all these other people. I heard one podcast say that Fuller needed to be fired immediately, and everybody else was just kind of like, players this, yards per play that. What y'all talking about, man? What y'all talking about?
Well, you know,
Yards per play. We actually outgained him, and all in all, he really didn't play that bad. I mean, the game really wasn't that bad. It was a well called game. It's just they're bad at situations. That's what I kept hearing. It's not that they played bad; they just really bad at situations.
which mean they played bad because they not good enough in situations, right? If you got it,
Dog,
like,
you was over.
It's like Wig said, don't tell me you can run the football, but when you got to get a yard, you can't get it. That means you really can't run the football.
You can't run the football. Right. That's what I mean. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all talking about situations. Yeah. On those situations that y'all keep talking about that we were bad in. And I don't know. Again, it's people are getting it. Got to be a memo that comes out that I don't get. We like me and you must not get that memo, because I would have said, I would have lied with everybody else. Because that's all. That was the theme. I listened to like four podcasts, all of them. Like, we were bad in situations. It wasn't that we was really bad. Just situationally, we were bad in certain situations. Man, y'all bad. You're bad. The situations, outside of the situations, you bad. And here's the problem. The coach also put them in those dumb situations to fail in. When you tell me you're going to run your quarterback twice, who got one leg, and the doctors didn't think he was going to walk again without pain, what you want? How you want that situation to go?
Yeah.
They were really bad at situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. They were also bad all over the field too. Stop with that foolishness, man. It's like they get some sort of mandate down. All right, this is gonna be the talking point this week, y'all. Let's talk about the situations. So that way we ain't saying nobody was bad. We're gonna talk about, we ain't gonna say how Mike Norvell is looking real suspect in the light. But instead what we're gonna do is talk about the situations that they played in. If they had played better in those situations, then we win the game. Yep. That's football. If you convert on third down and get off the field on third down, you win games. The whole thing is, that's football. You're gonna be at third down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. What do they think football is? It's all situational. Everything is a situation. It was I listen, man, and I'm gonna try to be as nice as possible. But it was the dumbest thing. I kept hearing it. And I apologize to our fellow podcasters. I listen to your guys because I really, I try to, learn things, and we try to improve or whatever. But y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta stop that. Like, come on, man. Keep it a buck. The people who listen to you deserve better.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm just saying, and that's a rant. That's me off on a tangent a little bit, but I heard it all. We were supposed to do this thing or whatever. I've been listening to podcasts all morning long, as I've been running errands this morning, and all I've heard is we weren't really that bad. We outscored them. We had more yards and blah blah blah. But situationally, we were poor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
all
bad.
right, my G.
Yeah, that's bad.
All right.
That's bad, man. But yeah. I mean, I think
I
we'll
don't got
wrap.
nothing else to say after that. I'm
Yeah,
done.
we'll wrap there, man. But I appreciate you guys coming to the pod, man. Please subscribe, please like, go to Apple, 5-star that thing on Apple. We gonna keep growing. I mean, we
Hold
better.
on, hold on real quick. Cubby say this sound like two FSU pods, and one of them is mine. Guess the other one. I mean, it's really simple, man. I was surprised. I honestly thought everybody was gonna be on the same page on this one. Like it was gonna be real clear and evident. And man, oh man, it was not. It
Right.
was not. It was more spin.
Yeah, and I feel bad for the kids, man, because they came to FSU because they came for the greatness of FSU, and
Right.
they're being the laughing stock of college football, and that's because a lot of grown ass men failed them. A lot of people that's being paid a lot of money and have a lot of vested interests is failing those kids. So that's terrible. Um, it's kind of crazy, man. But we gotta turn this show into something else because I don't know if we can keep talking about FSU. I mean, we're gonna talk about FSU football, but we're gonna do like a 15-minute FSU football segment, 10 minutes college football, NFL segment, or something, man. 'Cause there's no way you could keep firing coaches every week.
Right.
I remember I told
Right.
you, what was that last year? I was like, dude, I can't fire
I
Alpha
can't
every
fire
week,
him.
Brad.
Yep. And I would come in and fire him every week. And I was like, I couldn't. I'll take that from you. I can come in and fire.
We never
fire.
score in the second half, bro. This is a trend from last year. We don't score touchdowns.
No matter
in the
who's
second
calling
half.
plays, we don't score in the second half. Other teams gonna go to their locker room and they're gonna scheme up some stuff to stop us, and we gonna go in and have grapes and pretzel sticks.
We got-
whatever they
well-
give the kids at halftime, they gonna give.
Well, you
them
know the
pretzel
problem
sticks
is
or
we
whatever
can't
it
make
is.
second half adjustment because the coach is too busy in the middle of the 50-yard line screaming at the players at halftime. I don't know why he keep
If you
doing that.
play better in the halves, you don't have to meet up to rally the team again. Yeah, all right,
Bro,
go
he
on.
does that for the camera. There's no reason to do that. There's no reason. Your defense just played 52 plays. Why are you at the halftime putting those guys in a circle? Let the defensive players go sit down, get their IVs treatment so they can get ready for the second half. But instead, you want to sit there, huddle up everybody. For what reason? Dude, all 95 players can't hear what you say in the middle of that stadium, dude. What are you doing?
And that's the part that be tripping me out, right? What are you doing it for? Because I promise the guy, when that's the band playing, the announcers, the announcers doing commercials, nobody hears you. Maybe them three people up front hear you. You get to that second, third, fourth, them dudes in the back there, they just there for the sake of.
It's pure performative. It's pure performative, dude. There's no reason to hold your players like that before you go into a halftime. There's no reason to do that. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't know why he does that.
If that's the case, just take them to the end zone and just immediately start practicing at halftime. You
Exactly.
just don't even go back to the locker room. Just immediately just start practicing. Hey, everybody line up on the fifth. We're gonna just, let's work. We got some things to work out. Yeah, it just don't make no sense. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of things, man, that I look at this staff and I say, I guess we got to keep you, but God, it's gonna be tough.
It's out of control, man. But man, we're gonna wrap right there, man. And y'all do the thing. Go to Apple, go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button. Go to every episode, hit the like button, let it play in the background, so we can keep growing.
Man,
Brandon, get yourself together,
I'm so
man.
frustrated.
You can't let him get you down.
Listen,
like
here's
this,
the
Brandon.
thing, right? I'm
can't
finna
let
watch
him
this
get you down.
dog. I'm finna watch these Jaguars, and it's gonna look a lot like the same, and that's what's gonna piss me off. See, it's not the fact. Like I already know, I'm finna watch these Jaguars get embarrassed by Denver, and that's gonna maybe Jacksonville can surprise me. We can get a win. It won't. It's just, I'm just frustrated, dog. One, because we kind of forecasted a lot of this, and two, because of all the lying that's going on from people who I respect, people who people who I expect better from, is lying and spinning, and that's foolishness.
Yeah, Kenneth, you're right about that. They don't call that out. It is dumb. It's so performative. It's dumb, But, I've always said that certain coaches get covered different by certain people. I've always said that. Sometimes I don't think it's that so much that the fan base is racist against black coaches or this person's against black coaches, but I do think the way
it's covered is different.
black coaches are covered are just different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if that means Does that mean Willie needed to be fired? Yeah, he probably did. But some of the stuff that was talked about with Willie never made any sense to me, and that's why I used to always kind of call balls and strikes with like, if you want to tell me the team ain't prepared, the team is not focused, the team don't play well, I'll take that. But if you telling me it's music at practice, and why they doing a nose drill, like I don't that happens at practice. I never understood that stuff. So, a lot of this stuff is kind of reaping what you sow because you want to make one person look like an incompetent idiot for some reason, which I think he was just a bad coach at Florida State. And I think coaches go to situations they don't do well. Charlie Weiss had one of the best resumes of all time. He failed in college. He failed at Florida as an OC. He failed at Notre Dame. He failed at Kansas. Was he an idiot? Was he a dummy? No, he just didn't. He didn't do a good job. You know what I'm saying? But it's this thing that comes with as a black coach, you should be allowed to fail and just said he did a bad job. It doesn't mean the guys. I don't know. I just felt like some of the critiques was just off. And then even with Mike does a lot of stuff that Willie did. And you can tell
a lot of stuff.
And you know what it is? It's a G5 thing. It's a you was at a small program and you can get away with it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you get at a bigger program, you can't get away with it. That's why you hire a coach from a bigger program because he understood that. He understands that. Jimbo understood that. You know what I'm saying? Mark Stoops
is Willie got called out on. Willie got called out for the stuff he did, and there's somehow excuses made for the stuff that Mike's doing. Right. Again, we've had a conversation or whatever. I'm not telling you it's about race. One happens to be black, one happens to be white. But what I'm telling you is that there is a difference in the way these two coaches have been covered. Yeah. 6-6 was not good enough for Willie Taggart. Now it was year 0, so that don't count. Now we're finna go 2 and something or whatever, which is clearly not good enough because that's below 6-6. So what if he goes 6-6 next year? You see what I'm saying? Like, well, he's building. We got to give it time. He's on the way up. Yeah. You just told me 6-6 wasn't good enough. You see what I mean? And that's what when we talk about just a lot of the things, like you said, you talk about the Willie wearing the whistle or whatever. Yeah, that's funny or whatever.
You know what's funny about
scheme
that?
Of things, but they made it like a real thing.
But you know what's funny about that? You know what's funny about the whistle thing? That was always funny to me. Urban Meyer used to have a whistle on. He's wear a whistle every now and then.
Who cares if he wears a whistle? If he had won whatever, like 100-7, who cares if he had the whistle?
What's
his name? What's that? Jim Tressel wore a sweater vest every game. He looked ridiculous. And you know who cared? Nobody, because they was winning championships. All them, you know what I mean? Like who cares? That's what we talk when we talk about the way that they were covered. It was like an indictment. Willie clearly don't know what he doing. He wear his whistle to the game.
Right. I mean, he deserved to be fired. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, he deserved to be fired. But
he didn't deserve to be fired when he got fired because it was a bad decision. Like that's what we talked about. It wasn't the fact that Willie was a bad coach. Willie was a bad coach. We acknowledged the fact that Willie was a bad coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the fact that you did not have to fire him when you fired him. He was going to be bad a year from now. Fix your off season, get everything situated, let Willie be bad. He would have went 6-6 again with a better roster. Then at that point, y'all could have fired him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm tired of beating this. I'm tired of talking about this shit.
Yeah, man. Just take a break, man. Go watch some bad Jaguar football.
I've been trying to eat these doggone nachos for the last hour and a half. I'm so hungry.
All right, man.
I was up last night, man. But anyway, yeah, man. I'm gonna tune into the Jaguars. Hopefully somebody Trevor Lawrence plays good or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, we're gonna have to bring in some guests, figure out something different. We appreciate you guys, man.
We'll talk about Florida State, man, but we gotta find another way to kind of do this because we can't. It's hard to critique these games. It's just gotten to a point where,
I'm sure I done pissed them off. I'm gonna let Sam reach out to some of these people. We wanna, we'll get some people on the line. I'll let Sam reach out. All right, yeah.
All right, man. Y'all be good. Have a great Sunday, man. Be productive this week. Start the week off productive.
Yeah, definitely. All that good stuff.
Yep.
Yep.